Sup Dudes, I'm Nate Eater.
And I'm Frank LaMantia.
And we are the Sup
Sup
Dudes. I can't keep that up. I
It's
can't.
too
I tried.
painful, right?
It's too painful. I can't keep it up.
That's why I didn't bother.
Well,
Anyway, in case you haven't figured it out,
we just are in a car at a movie theater in the parking lot. We always have to say it. You know what that means? Say it with me, everybody. Movie review time. Woo! Now we can say what we saw. And like Frank said, if it wasn't obvious, we just saw the Batman. Not just Batman.
The Batman.
The Batman. And it's funny because they kept calling him that in the movie, the Batman.
Yeah, the Batman.
So.
It's not like a name. It's like a description. The Batman.
Yeah, he is the...
Actually, it makes more sense this way.
He is the man of bats. Or he is the man that dresses as a bat.
All right, don't start that.
If any of you know on Big Bang Theory, that scene, we were talking about that today, actually.
Yeah, well, we're not going to talk about it anymore.
Nope. All right.
Maybe we'll put a link to it. Who knows?
Yep. Maybe not. Because we don't want to promote them.
Why not?
So,
Go ahead.
Like I said, we just saw the Batman. And now we're going to review it. I liked it. Frank didn't. Let's get into it. Well, that's a... Cars just turned on his taillights on us.
Oh, my God.
Hey, it had red in the movie, too, so it's perfect.
It looks like we're in a submarine emergency situation. Anyway...
It stars
Robert... I can't read this because of this red light.
Robert
Pattinson from...
Twilight
fame. He plays the Batman.
The Batman.
Oops. What happened here?
Zoe Kravitz
plays Catwoman.
Yep. She's a lot. Can we just say she's a lot better of a Catwoman than Halle Berry was?
I didn't see the Halle Berry one.
Don't.
But she looks a little like Halle Berry. Did you notice that?
Yeah. I saw that. I was a little weirded out by that, but no, she was a way better Catwoman.
I wonder if they did that on purpose.
Probably.
All right. Paul Dano was the Riddler.
Dano, it's one of those two.
All right, Dano, maybe Paul Dano. I don't know. Sorry, Paul.
Yeah, sorry if you're watching this, Paul.
Right. Surprisingly, we didn't recognize him. Colin Farrell.
Yep.
He played the Penguin.
I could have sworn he played a Penguin before, like a Batman Penguin before. If he did, we'll put it up. But
sure
I could have sworn his name was linked to something like that before.
And one of my favorite actors, Jeffrey Wright.
Yep.
All right, he played Commissioner Gordon.
James Gordon.
And I do love him. I love most of his work, but what I didn't like is that he ended up sounding like the Batman too, the same
really
gravelly voice. But
I just love how this car isn't still moving, and we have the red light on us still. What's that?
I think they're moving now.
We'll do it live.
And then John Turturro. He played one of the villains, Falcone.
Well, should we say he was a villain?
Well, you know he's a villain. He's a mobster. I mean it that way. He's a mobster.
All right, there you go.
Okay, and Peter Sarsgaard. He also played. Was it a mobster or like a bad cop?
What was the name on it again? Sorry.
Gil Colson.
I think he was a bad cop.
Bad cop. Okay. So anyway, you want to do Alfred?
Yeah, we have to do Alfred. It's Batman.
Alfred is Andy Serkis.
You can't have Batman without Alfred.
Not circus as like, clowns and elephants.
God,
Serkis. Circus. Okay? So a lot of stars. So I thought it would have been better. All right, the acting was not bad. To be honest, the acting was not bad. I didn't care for the Batman gravelly voice.
That's a staple. It's a staple by now.
It wasn't as bad as Christian Bale in the later movies.
Yep.
I don't think he was that gravelly in the first one, but later on he got very.
I just think his suit was getting too tight.
It could be. Who knows? That's another thing. They it's very different take on like the suit and the toys and the.
Toy? You gotta call his utility devices toys.
If you remember the old Michael Keaton one, the famous Joker line, "Where does he get those wonderful toys?" But anyway, so and also, can I keep going here?
Yeah.
It was also very dark, and Nate brought that up too. I was thinking the same thing. It was much darker. I don't mean lighting wise, which it was too. It was very dark.
Yeah.
But the story wise and
the character portrayal,
atmosphere wise, it was very dark. Batman is much more brutal.
Yeah.
Although he
Very.
still doesn't use firearms.
Nope.
But he's much more brutal. He's much more brooding. But all in all, like I said, the acting was okay, even though it wasn't much acting on the part of the Batman. He just so he probably had the fewest lines of all the main characters. I think he spoke like
Maybe.
a couple of important lines. But
Yeah.
anyway, I know it sounds like I'm rambling because I really didn't like it. It's 3 hours long
Mm-hmm.
or so. I don't think it needed to be. I think the main reason why it was so long is because it was very slow paced in the beginning, and not slow paced enough to put you to sleep or anything, because the set and stuff is very
good old New York or
mesmerizing. That keeps your interest and stuff, but I didn't care for some of the dialogue and just the way some of the scenes played out. It got a little silly for me, but there was a decent amount of action.
Decent amount?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, let me see if I can. No. All right, let me see if I can turn these back on We're doing it live for you people.
Yeah, that's all right.
There we go. I'll make it quick then, because hopefully I'm not killing my battery. Like Frank said, very dark, as in the character-wise, which I really love, because everyone knows Batman from, if you're older, the generations, Michael Keaton, Adam West, Kapow,
that was very light.
Kablam, just cartoony, all right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Batman cartoons that they had. I think, and of course, Christian Bale's isn't dark, and neither was Ben Affleck's, who we won't mention. Dark compared to this.
Well, no, compared to this, no. But darker than some of the others because of Heath Ledger. He was a dark Joker.
Yeah. So, in that case of him being a darker person, I loved it. I thought it was a new take on Batman, and I thought it was a refreshing take on him instead of the typical superhero style that he is.
I happen to agree with that, although I didn't. I just didn't like the way some of it played out.
I liked how they made him more broken as a person too. If you look at the other Batmans, it was his parents died, and then it was just he's still this billionaire, and at times you can't really tell that he's still upset about it. You could definitely tell with I forgot his name, Robert Pattinson's Batman, because anytime they brought it up, you saw it in his face how it changed and how he carried himself whenever he was Bruce Wayne and not Batman. For those of you that don't know, Bruce Wayne is Batman.
The millionaire side was not played up at all.
Which is what I like too, because again, everyone knows Batman as a millionaire or billionaire, or whatever, how much money he has.
These days is billionaire.
Yeah, but that's what I liked about him. He wasn't that stereotypical Batman that we all know. It was a refreshing take. And piggybacking off of that, same thing with the Riddler. Don't get me wrong. I love Jim Carrey. Good actor at times. His Riddler compared to Dano's, I love Dano's. I love the more psychological, statistical side. Again, a new take on him. Catwoman was basically Catwoman.
Well, Jim Carrey's Riddler was more
the comic book.
The comic book Riddler.
Yeah. But again, I like this Riddler more. It was just more statistical, a more, and a fit that I keep saying the word darker, the more darker atmosphere of this movie. And I feel as though it worked perfectly there. I thought I had the right amount. Well, I'm keeping it off. I had the right.
It's too dark.
I had the right amount of I think I had the right amount of action scenes, and I had the right amount of action. I loved the fight scenes, of course. I loved the car chase scenes, the car stunts. Those stunt work people need to be appreciated.
I think the car chases and stuff was over the top.
I think it was just enough.
Nah.
The bads, at times it got a little slow, but I understand you have to have it a little bit slower to make people catch their breath from all the action. Didn't really care for Catwoman. I kind of wish she wasn't in it at times. I'll be honest.
I don't think she was an integral part, really.
No.
But, I mean, she was okay.
I think if they would have cut out all that, it would have been fine.
It wasn't totally necessary. Not all of it, anyway. It was a different take. The plot line with her was, I don't know, kind of strange, but...
I mean, the story got a little confusing at times, I'll be honest, but...
A lot of times.
I'm there to see Batman kick ass. I'm not there for Batman story time.
Well, if you want, if that's what you want, that's what you got.
And this is exactly what I wanted.
But I would like.
And I'll be honest.
I would like a story that's better fleshed out. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I had my doubts about Robert Pattinson being Batman. I think he put those to rest. I'm not saying he's like the greatest Batman ever. Don't get me wrong. I think he did the role justice, though. No pun intended.
Yeah, he.
No pun intended at all.
It was I think he did. He played it admirably.
From
he did.
From knowing him from Twilight,
yeah,
and being like, I was worried about it.
That didn't even register watching him in this movie.
No, not at all.
Know, there was no Twilight vibe at all. It was
Thankfully,
really, really good.
Thankfully, but yeah. So my arm's getting tired from holding the flashlight phone up. So let's get to the ratings. Frank, go first.
Well, all right.
I promise I'll bring a light next time.
I wasn't. I mean, I don't want to totally trash it because it has moments. It kept me engaged for most of it. I didn't like a lot of the stuff that was happening, so I'm just gonna go middle of the road. Give it a 5.
5.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I like a little bit more what was happening in it. Again, I thought it was one of the. Of course, it's not gonna beat Dark Knight Rises, because
it won't even beat Batman Begins.
Yeah. Because you can't top Heath Ledger as Joker versus Christian Bale. Beautiful. Tom Hardy as Bane. Can't beat that. So, in my opinion, those are like around the 8s and high 8s and 9s range. So for this one, I'll give it a 7.5.
Okay.
I'll give it a 7.5 after all this good things said about it. So at that point, you know our average score, Frank.
What do I mean?
No, you got to show it.
Oh, okay.
Because I can't really do much with holding the phone up.
I thought you wanted me to calculate.
No. I wouldn't do that to you.
Oh, I could, but I didn't want to.
So, do we recommend this movie? I recommend seeing it on the big screen, Frank.
If you're gonna see it on a big screen, because I think on a little screen it'll just lose too much.
Yeah.
And
of course, there's a lot we're leaving out of the movie, so I say go experience it for yourself.
Yeah, well, there's a lot going on. There's
a
lot of plot lines, a lot of stuff to follow as far as that, which, like Nate said, it gets confusing. But all in all, it's not horrible. But Nate liked it a little bit more. But he's more of a comic book guy anyway. So.
Yeah, I know more about the
I don't
superhero verses and everything.
Yeah.
The multiverses and all that good stuff.
So,
wrap it up.
Anything else? Yeah.
I say wrap it up. My arm's getting tired. So, with that being said, I'm Nate Heater.
And I'm Frank Lamontia.
And we are the Sup Dudes. So long.
Take care.
I could put this